Dixieland, I was born.
Continuing here, I was just saying that, look, more than one way to skin a cat. And of course, what I'm talking about is fixing problems. And it's going to take some turbulence, okay? Because the status quo has momentum, the establishment has momentum. This trajectory of death and destruction, of this wanton poverty, this abject poverty in the land, okay, is on the rise. We could say unemployment is down and there's fewer people on food stamps because a few people, got some jobs and all that. That's all good and fine. But when it comes to the extreme poverty, the hemorrhaging poverty, okay, that's a severe acute problem we have in the land. And as far as I'm concerned, you can let all the immigrants and refugees in the whole world in, okay, once we fix our own problems. But then we're not going to have them wanting to come here because we have set an example. We'll shame the other countries because they'll say, wow, look what the Americans have done. Okay, so I know that we affect trends all over the world. Okay, when things are screwed up in America, they're going to get screwed up all over the world. Okay, that's the way it is. And we can say, oh, well, it's been more screwed up in Europe for a long time or in Latin America and all this. But look, we're interfering all over. Remember, the grand puppeteers, the devil's in the details. All these skirmishes, all these divisive tactics they use against humanity is what I'm trying to get at here. Okay, look, I'm not saying with this basic income, this guarantee, this God-given right to share in the inherent wealth of the planet. That to me is not radical. Okay, that's very biblical. There's nothing ungodly about that statement. There's nothing communistic about that statement. There's nothing socialistic. Unless I'm suggesting tax and spend, unless I'm saying that you should pay. No, I'm saying your taxes would go down dramatically. That means your tax dollar would go up in worth. So you can look at anything, whether you've got to purchase with your money a good or a service or a combination of those things, which is the only thing you're spending money on, right? It's either goods or services or a combination of those things. Look at it relative to any given good or service, okay, what I'm talking about here. And your tax dollars, that is a service, right? The government says, no, you got to pay for the service of using whatever, they claim. You're using the road, you got to pay taxes for that road, that service they offer, because you don't own the road, right? It's not you're not buying it, but of course you own it. The only legitimate government is the people. You understand? We the people, all the people, not some of the people. That's a republic. It's representative of everybody's rights. So the basis to me is sound, up one side, down the other. Your cost of living tax, I don't care if you're uber rich, medium rich, upper middle class, struggling labor class, working class, or poor class, okay, poverty class, minimum wage, needing to get food stamps to survive. Okay, so you bust your ass day in and day out, and you don't even get to share the dignity. You got to go on welfare just to raise your family. That's the America of today. That's the reality, folks. So get with it. Guys like Ted Nugent, man, come on. All you famous people, you can't even get close to ordinary people. They're afraid of you. They don't, it's like you're out of touch. You're that out of touch with reality. Do the math. Figure out what minimum wage is in your town, okay, and then look at the rents. Look what's being charged for, one family house. A guy that wants dignity, wants to be able to raise a family, so he needs to be able to rent a house, at least rent. He doesn't even get to own it, doesn't even get to buy it. Busts his ass day in and day out on a minimum wage job, 40 hours a week, overtime, whenever he gets a chance. He'll snatch it up, Come on, you guys. Think about what I'm saying. What am I saying that's unreasonable? So, the Labor Department has been utterly, profoundly remiss, because there's no reason in the world that anybody can justify them not having given cost of living adjustments regularly every year, commensurate, proportional, equivalent cost of living adjustments every year. Then it would have been harsh. Then people go, $15 an hour, when really, if you do the math, it's over $40 an hour on average across the country, to be commensurate with the minimum wage 55 years ago of $1 an hour or something. Okay, do you understand the madness? It's the Overton window, how far it's been moved, and people are just, well, no, and we can't go back. We want the Overton window to stay here. That's what I hear even from a lot of people that profess to be conservatives. Owen Schroyer, all these people, they don't understand that. I mean, yeah, let's revisit 2008. You know history, Alex Jones, so well. Let's go back to 2008. Let's revisit that. Let's have true capitalism work there. Let's have that market correction that true capitalism would have brought us. Okay, you guys, come on, be honest. Don't be mindless jingoists. Okay, yeah, America is still the best house in bad neighborhood by virtue of the evidence that people just keep wanting to move here. But look at the hellholes we've turned the whole entire Middle East and North Africa into. And you wonder why it is? What's going on in Latin America? Why have we ignored our neighbors to the south and done business with China? Okay? All of Latin America, you think this is by accident? These people are diabolical. They're cunning. They're calculating, these evildoers. You understand? The evil genius. They know what they're doing. They don't want our neighbors to the south to be well-heeled like China is right now, relatively speaking to us. I mean, we could say, oh, China has debt too, all this, but look at, they're dominating the world stage, basically. They know how to manufacture more stuff quicker than anybody else. Their quality's been going up, and all this, I mean, it's looking bright future economically. That could be Latin America. That could be Mexico. So you think it's by accident that even though Latin America is much closer to North America, that this has happened like this? No, these people know what they're doing. Come on, wake up, man. All of us. I mean, let's be smart here. Let's be honest. Be intellectually honest. If you know, then you'll agree with me. But, like I say, there's more than one way to skin a cat, but we've got to pick one of them and go for it. Like I said, I wish Trump would just fire the Federal Reserve. Say, look, we don't accept Federal Reserve notes anymore. As of tomorrow, Kinko's is printing us our new currency. You understand? They're going to be in charge. And we're going to keep very close track of every dollar that's printed there. There's going to be a digital signature, and we're going to know exactly what the hell's going on at every single Kinko's across America. But they'll be glad to take the business, right? Because that's a lot of bread. That's a lot of printing, right? But just think how a basic income would help, like, your local economy if people had money to spend at the businesses and the services and buy commodities and stuff. So, I mean, it's win, 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 win. Conservative, liberal, it's all those things. I just want to fix problem. I'm a nuts and bolts 2 + 2 kind of guy. Logic, just reason, simple. Keep it simple, stupid, kind of guy. So, I mean, I get it. People got to get it. They got to get you. The wool's been pulled over your eyes. That's why you don't see. You've been boiled like that frog. Because it happens so slowly. They moved that Overton window. If they tried to debase your currency like this overnight, to go from $1 being worth $1 to making it worth a nickel, what do you think there wouldn't have been? There would have been outrage. I mean, people would have revolted. No way. So yeah, more than one way to skin a cat. Just get rid of the Federal Reserve, pay them off with the new currency, and that's it. It's all fiat. It's all made up anyhow. They just pull out a thing. Oh, we'll loan you $1 trillion. Sure, why not? We could print $1 trillion, and you just owe us, and you owe us interest, and yeah, we know where the money's coming from all you people that are this critical mass of well-heeled people in the status quo establishment. They're going to go along with the program because they say, hey, go along with this trajectory of death and destruction because I'm well-heeled, not caring about divorcing themselves from the other people. And it's just horrific what's happened in this country. The division is just palpable. You cut it with a knife, man. This is something else Kanye West brought up, the classism. This is where we're divided. It seems hopeless for so many people. In California's leading the trend, man. We're way ahead of the curve. The rest of the nation has no idea what they're looking for, man. Look, we're the guinea pig state. They still want to keep coming here, even though we got people dying out in the cold. We got tent cities all over the place. Well, I'm, social Darwinism, and I'm strong, and I'm smart, and I've got this education. I'm going to come to California, and I'm going to show everybody I'm going to be a success. And it's all, a lot of it's about the location. A lot of it's about weather. Most of California doesn't experience the harsh weather that, like, the Middle East, the Midwest, and the eastern states experience, right? So, there's good reasons why people want to move to California. I understand it. I don't care if the whole planet lives in California. Personally, as a native Californian, I welcome you. But let's fix our own damn problems first. Let's do this, with some degree of protocol. The order of business, first come, first serve, and, let's make sure we don't have our own native sons and daughters, citizens dying out in the cold, okay, because that's a state of affairs. I don't care. You can say, well, they're weak, they're feeble, they're on drugs, they're on alcohol, they're mentally ill. You can have all your excuses in the world. I don't care what they are. They're the least of men. Like Jesus said, they represent him. That's who they are. So let's fix our damn problems. Let's just be honest. And then you can let all the immigrants in the world in. Okay, but then they're not even going to want to come in. This is all about keeping people enslaved, keeping them stupid, keeping them ignorant, not even knowing they're enslaved in this prison planet run by the money masters of misery. These grand puppeteers, the grand wardens of this prison, are these people. It's a money printing class. I'm telling you, folks, this thing is as clear as the light of day to me, as clear as the nose on my face. Trump knows it, and he'd like to turn it around, but is he scared? Why doesn't he just tell the Federal Reserve to take a hike? Do it as in respect, as a tribute to JFK. Okay, do it for him. And when you guys meet on the other side, you can talk it over. Okay, if they kill Trump, then the American people will know with absolute certainty that we must get rid of this agency, that we don't need them any more than we need a hill of beans. Okay, that's it. Okay. Go away. Go away. JFK was already circulating silver notes, silver certificates. Trump, start doing something similar to that. Model it after that. Do it in tribute to JFK, in memory of him, to respect his wishes for America. That's the way I'd like this cat skin. So this basic income thing, I'll put that on back burner right now. Okay, and all I was saying, and the last thing I was saying in the last tape when it ended, was that, look, I'm not saying you got to buy anybody a car, electronics, knickknacks, luxury items, trinkets, none of that kind of crap. Okay, if you want that, then, that's what's going to compel you. If you need a whip to get you to work, well, that's your whip, that you get these nice little knickknacks like a smartphone, okay? But other than that, folks, I'm all for setting people free, especially if it's God's will. And so there's more than one way to skin a cat. It can be done. But the establishmentarian status quo are going to fight tooth and nail, and all those that are on that side, they're all hypocrites. Okay, these are the ones. These are the people that live by a double standard. These are elitists. And I'm telling you, folks, this is why I so highly recommend. I mean, I'll beg you. I cannot convey in strong enough terms how much I would advise and recommend that I implore you to be an egalitarian, okay, to believe in equality, because there's only one alternative to believing in universal equality, okay, and that is to believe in universal inequality. And you can say, oh, nonsense, okay, I believe just that there's always going to be inequality and that we're all unequal in many ways. And I would say, look, I agree. Okay, that's the paradox aspect of this whole thing. We're all individuals. Okay, so we're not all going to be equally good at this or equally good at that. We're all going to be, like I started talking about earlier, we're going to be idiot savants here and we're going to be bumbling idiots over here. Okay, we're going to be stupider than a box of rocks, right? In some areas. We're going to be the dullest tool in the shed compared to somebody else. So, yeah, in that regard, I agree with you. But what I'm trying to say is basically we're not born free. And in order for us to be born free, we cannot be born beholden to the money masters of misery via this cost of living tax, which is a tax. Make no bones about it, even though it's not called a tax. Let me make very clear here. It is a tax for all intents and purposes. It is a tax on your very existence. You will not survive if you don't pay the cost of living tax, okay, to wherever entities are collecting it. Okay, so it's, way more pernicious than the IRS probably, because they're not telling you, you could always negotiate with the IRS. You could get a lawyer to help you out or something, a mediator, whatever. But anyhow, folks, I think I pontificated enough and made my points about the skin of the cat. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to do it, and I'd just be for sound, true capitalistic economic policy, supply and demand, free market, because I know how you identify progress. I know how you define progress regard to that. Okay, prosperity happens automatically, naturally, organically. Without being forced, without being meddled with, you will have universal prosperity. The system doesn't break down because people have an inherent God-given right, desire to serve one another, to be useful, to be appreciated. It's very, when you think about it, hey, it's true. Look at all the volunteerism out there. Look at all the people that are miserable after retirement. We need that purpose-driven life. We need to give. If everything is handed to you, the natural thing to do is to give. And if there's a few mentally ill people that want to remain idle and want to watch TV all day, this is why I objected with Robert Reich. I said this Berkeley, California University professor, Robert Reich, right? I like a lot of what this guy's had to say in the past, but when he starts posing as the enemy, he starts throwing mud in the lake and saying, "Well, maybe I'm against basic income because people might just decide to stay home and watch TV." It's none of your damn business, Robert Reich. Read The Wealth of Nations by the greatest economist that ever lived, likely, Adam Smith, okay? And learn what every nation's single greatest asset is. So in due time, in their time, they will decide to get off the TV and work. There's nothing wrong with watching a little theater. People have been watching theater since the dawn of time, practically. That's what TV is, basically.